Hello, hello, good day, everybody. Welcome to the show. I am here. My name is Mike. Garrett is here as well. Hello, Garrett.
Hello.
How you doing today, buddy?
It was a pretty off day until I got some good news.
Oh yeah, what's the good news?
I already talked to Marina. She said I could say this, but her cancer has gone down to 0.0003% and is almost full remission.
Wow,
So great news.
excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. What kind of cancer does she have?
She sent it to me. Hold on. It's one of those longer name ones.
Yeah,
It is chronic myeloid leukemia.
chronic myeloid leukemia.
It's a bone marrow disease.
I was hoping you weren't going to say she had testicular cancer or something.
No, but that would be kind of ironic.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Ovarian,
So-
like what?
Yeah. Well, that's great news, man. That's great
Yeah.
news. I know that's kind of a lifelong thing. I know I've dealt with my dad for, going on 15 years now. And his was kidney, which is really not good. And I know every time he goes for a scan, they scan him in California and in Michigan, depending on, every 6 months or so. And they, my mom, he and my mom have a routine, where they go, and I can't remember what they do, but they eat somewhere after the scan every time, kind of tradition, because it's been good news over the years.
Yeah.
And I know what a big deal that is, and the text thread for the family, when you're waiting on these results and it comes back and it's like, he's good for another 6 months. And you're just like, oh, fuck, thank God.
Woo.
Thank God. Yeah. Yeah. So congratulations, Marina. That's great news.
Yeah, we're celebrating this weekend.
What's that?
Celebrating this weekend for sure.
Yeah. What does the celebration entail? Is it you go to the bar and get shit faced?
No, probably gonna go see a movie or something. Something she wants, anything she picks. My treat.
Okay. All right. What kind of movies is she into?
I think she really wants to see Twister.
Twister.
Yeah, they're making a second Twisters.
Okay. Are they just redoing the original, or is this like a continuation?
I don't know, but
yeah, you don't care.
No, but it's for her.
Who was that? Helen Hunt, Mike's brother,
Yes.
Mike's sister.
Yeah,
was
Mike's
in
sister.
Yeah, Mike's sister, Mike Hunt. Obviously, we all big fans of his. The Hunt family does really well, by the way.
Yeah.
But yeah, Helen was in the first one, and Bill something, maybe. I don't know. I don't remember. It was forever ago. But yeah, it seems like they just remake everything nowadays. But yeah, I don't know. Well, that'll be good.
By the way, I looked
it's
it
a
up.
sequel.
Yep.
Okay. There was another tornado.
Yeah, that's probably
wow.
it.
Okay.
Cool.
All right. Well, speaking of movies,
all right.
I went last night to Deadpool Wolverine.
Hell yeah. How'd you like it?
Yeah. All right. I fucking loved it.
Same.
I loved every minute of it.
Same.
I mean, like, I've read a few things. I've actually got a couple stories today about Deadpool. We won't give stuff away, except we'll one of the stories I have is about the amount of gay jokes in it.
I mean, I expected it going in.
Yeah, as the resident gay, I'll respect your opinion on it, but
yes,
yeah,
resident longtime Deadpool nerd, he is openly bisexual in the comic books.
Wrong. He's openly pansexual.
Okay, pansexual.
Yeah, I don't know what that means, but
it's the same thing.
Yeah, but there's people taking issue with that, too, that they feel they were queer teased, if that's a thing.
I guess.
I don't care what they say. It was fucking hilarious, start to finish.
Yes.
I saw, I think it was 47 previews for about an hour and a half before the movie started. They also have this thing. I've never seen this because I ordered popcorn. I ordered a frozen Coke, which I usually do. And the CO2 was down for the theater. They didn't have any, but like you could buy water. That was it. It felt sacrilegious to be in a theater and not have
soda or something.
Soda, or I like the frozen drink. I don't get those very often, but when I go there, that's my go-to. But they didn't have anything. So I had water, and then I ordered so I had a popcorn and a water, and I was like, oh, pretzel with cheese. That sounds good. Haven't had one of those in a while. And that's usually like a pretzel that yay big,
Yeah.
Typical. They throw the salt on it and whatever. Great. dude, this thing came in a box, like a pizza box. It was this thick around. I'm not kidding. I can't get in front of my camera. It was the biggest fucking pretzel I've ever seen. I've never seen these. Have you seen these?
Was it
Bavarian
burnt and veiny?
pretzels? Huh?
Was it also burnt and veiny?
No, it was not burnt and veiny, but it was brown. Dude, it was the biggest thing I've ever seen. My brother ordered one. I was like, oh, I'll get one. I had no idea you could feed an entire household with one of these things. Massive. I did not finish it, but yeah, the movie I thought was spectacular. It's done really well.
Yes.
At the Deadpool Wolverine raked in $24.3 million on Monday. Just on Monday is what that thing did. It's done today $235.7 million. That's 4 days. Unbelievable. At that level, Deadpool and Wolverine easily ranks as the best Monday ever for an R-rated movie, beating the Monday of 2016's Deadpool, which fell on President's Day during that holiday and almost hit 20 million.
Yeah.
19.7. In addition, the promotional partner campaign for Deadpool and Wolverine was worth $135 million. They've got everything, like Adidas is doing shoes, and I think it's Xbox. Have you seen the remotes that are like Deadpool and Wolverine's asses, like the remotes of it?
Nice. I need those.
Huh?
I need those.
Yeah, they're sweet, man. They're really cool looking. In celebration of Dogpool, who steals the film, that is Peggy, by the way, who's in that movie. You've probably seen her. I don't think we're giving anything away. Peggy is the ugly ass dog in the movie. That, I mean, it's just perfect. It's perfect for Deadpool to, how this dog happens to be. Like, that whole storyline is great in my opinion. And that dog, it's funny. My brother at one point leans over to me and he's like, God, that looks like a real dog almost. And I was like, it is a real dog.
Yep.
He didn't know. And I'm like, that dog looks like the dog that has won the ugliest dog award. And it's true that is Peggy, who won the Britain's ugliest dog award. And it's just so perfect for that movie. You know what I mean? In fact,
I found the controllers. I love them.
Aren't they great?
Here.
I think they have something else too. Yeah. Can you pull up a picture? Yeah. Isn't that great?
Perfect. I love that they made the asses pop out of the back of the controller. So it's 3D.
Yeah.
Well done.
I thought it was fun. It's funny. The problem is, so Peggy, that dog, Mary Poppins, I think they call her, Dogpool, is the name. They teamed with the Best Friends Animal Society, making it the PIC's official nonprofit partner. PSA ran via donated media across broadcast networks and print media, which delivered $2 million plus 2 million plus views in 48 hours. Excuse me, not money. There were also local air segments highlighting Dogpool and pet adoptions across major markets. I always worry about that stuff. This is what happens at Easter when a bunch of people go out and buy their kids bunnies.
Yeah.
And then they realize bunnies are kind of a pain in the ass, and then you just,
My mom is a bunny Nazi. I've heard it.
Really? Does your mom like bunnies or
loves? She had 2 rabbits she treated better than me. Made 3 green salads for every night and everything.
Yeah, I'm dealing with that right now with the warden and her cats.
If the warden needs a book on how to raise rabbits or good tips for them, my mom wrote one.
No, she's not into buns, but she's into cats, and they are more special than her son, certainly than me. I am a second-class citizen around here, or her husband. It's the cats, which whatever. By the way, our buddy that brought over the pinball machine, Scott, I believe he's opening a place, and I hope soon we can start doing reads for Scott. I believe it's in Lake Orion. We're living as a vacation and opening a pinball location. I don't know where that stands. I haven't talked to Scott in a minute since I moved, but he brought over Venom. I had Venom at the house, pinball machine, and Iron Maiden for a while. There was a third one too. Do you remember what that third one was?
Oh, it was another band, I want to say.
Was it? No, it wasn't a band. I wasn't.
It'll pop up in my head.
It was another maybe movie franchise. I don't know. Venom's a dope game. Love that game. So Scott and I had talked when I left because I wasn't going to take those machines. They were his. He wanted to keep them in the studio and all that, which would have been awesome. But he's like, I'll ship a pinball machine down to Scottsdale when you get there. And so he and I were talking about it, and he's like, yeah, see if there's one that you like. And I'm like, Guns N' Roses. Do I go with the Lions team? I'm asking him all these questions because he's, Stern Pinball. He's the guy.
Yeah,
so and
it was
questions
Godzilla
about those.
Was the last one.
Godzilla, yeah, I wasn't as crazy about Godzilla. Yep. It had one mechanism. It might have just been the board I was playing, like the lighting. I had a lighting issue.
Special thanks to Francis, by the way, for telling us that.
Thank you, Francis. I appreciate it. Yeah, and I there was a lighting issue that he did come and fix, but I wasn't as crazy about that game as much as Venom or the Iron Maiden. Iron Maiden's super dope, but he was like, yeah, look at see if there's one, blah blah blah. And so I'm going through them, asking him all the relevant questions, and he's like, yeah, the NFL ones are okay. And some of the old school ones that I'm a fan of, I was like, well, what about these? And he's like, there's some better ones out there. And then I was like, oh, fucking Deadpool, dude.
Yep.
And he's like, yeah, it's awesome. And I was like, done. The search is over. I want fucking Deadpool.
I'll take one too.
Yeah, right? Well, let's start small and get one in the new. So when we build the new studio here, that's hopefully going to go in there. And I got to reach back out to Scott. I'm sure he'll hear this. But yeah, Deadpool, I've never played it. Haven't even seen it. I don't even want to know. I want it to arrive and then check it out for sure. But yeah, great movie. I think if you're a fan of the originals, you'll love this. It's right in line with that. I don't think there's any actor on earth who could play that role as well as Ryan Reynolds. Seriously, he's perfect. And I know in 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, whatever amount of time goes by, there'll be some young comedian actor that comes up. But dude, is anyone doing it better than Ryan Reynolds these days in these movies?
No.
I hope he's a decent dude.
Well, in the comic book, it said Deadpool looks like a cross between Ryan Reynolds and a Shar-Pei.
Really?
And that's how Ryan Reynolds got himself onto the joke and wanted to play Deadpool.
Yeah, he's perfect for it. I wish T.J. Miller would have been in it. He's not in this one. I'm not shocked that he's not in it. It sucks because I think I really enjoyed his role. His delivery is really good. He was really good on Silicon Valley. Jay and I critiqued the shit out of his stand-up. We were so excited for his stand-up special, and it was fucking garbage. Yeah. It was so bad. But his comedic timing in those roles is so good. And it was such a good role between especially the first movie, just Deadpool, I guess it was. I don't know if you're a fan of TJ Miller or if you know what I'm talking about, but
yeah, I like his roles when he does that deadpan, very blunt delivery.
Yeah, I do too. I'm just a big fan of that kind of humor and style. And he's so good at it. It sucks that they weren't able to. He plays the role of Weasel, his friend who doesn't have powers, but so people are asking, why isn't TJ Miller in this one? Back in 22, and I think we may have reported on it at the time or talked about it, not reported, but talked about it at the time. So people are like, well, it'd be easy to write the character off because he doesn't have superpowers. But then they're like, yeah, but Peter's back and, the chick is back, stuff like that. Back in 22, Miller went on a tirade against Reynolds. And this happened on the Adam Carolla show. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember the news coming out.
In an interview, he said, as the character, he was horrifically mean to me, as if I'm actually Weasel. So he was like, he's talking about Ryan Reynolds, which kind of sucks if this is true. Take it for what it's worth. Who knows? So he was like, what's great about you, Weasel? You're not the star, but you do just enough exposition so that it's funny. And then we can leave and get back to the real movie. He went on to say he would never work with Ryan Reynolds again, claiming the success of Deadpool changed him. Miller later seemed to backtrack, said it was all a misunderstanding. He patched things up with Ryan Reynolds. Disney, Ryan Reynolds, none of them have commented on this at all. The real story here is the other stuff that came out, and that was a Daily Beast article they did they interviewed some woman who he was accused of sexual assault back in 2017. a woman told the Daily Beast reporter that a sexual encounter with Miller, during one, he choked and punched her, all without consent.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe they exist out there. Times are definitely weird. I don't know many girls, not in my history anyways, that would be like, I give you consent to punch me in the face. I don't know that girl. If she's out there, God bless her. But I think that's when, the choking and punching seems like you better get, pretty clear approval for that. But he just tried a lot of things without asking me. I think there was something about a bottle shoved somewhere too. If memory serves, I believe there was something involving maybe a Coke bottle or something along those lines. I hate to disparage his good name, but I believe there was something along those lines in that article too. Miller, of course, has denied these allegations. I believe his girlfriend came out in his defense. Not his only run-in, where people have talked about his shitty behavior, unfortunately. Mike Judge told The Hollywood Reporter at the time Miller left Silicon Valley. I thought his role was great in that.
Yeah.
They tried to act like, the character had run its course. Bullshit. He was one of the, 5 ensemble leads, and it was a good role. He was funny. It was good. There was no need to nix him. Sure, you could make that case in the storyline, but it wasn't really necessary. A good character is a good character, and he's great at what he does. But Mike Judge did come out and say, there's a lot of different ways you can find out somebody doesn't want to do the show anymore. It's not fun to work with someone who doesn't want to be there, especially when they're one of the main people and you've got however many crew members and extras and people who are not paid as well. And they're all showing up before 7 a.m. and then are just like, oh, okay, we're not shooting today. Silicon Valley's Alice Wetterlund, I don't remember which character that is, but she came out against Miller and said TJ was a bully and a petulant brat. And then she went on to blame the other male co-stars for kind of, enabling his behavior. Yeah. I don't know if, money and stardom does weird shit to people. It really does. It's why over the years I've given so much credit to Drew and Mike, because they did great financially and they never seem to change. But I know how rare that is. It is what it is. There's something about people's egos that doesn't prevent them from thinking they're better than they are, better than regular people. And
I think TJ Miller got a bit of a big head.
Of
reading the interview, what he was saying against Ryan Reynolds, and it's kind of stupid stuff. I mean,
yeah. Now the problem is he's doing a podcast with Adam Carolla, so
yeah.
It's kind of like the story we did yesterday with the Olympics, where it's like this guy Bob Ballard was booted for his sexist comment, and his co-host said outrageous, and it's like, yeah, but if you listen to it, that's not how the delivery was. So I don't want to necessarily crush TJ Miller for this interview. I haven't listened to the interview that he did, so I don't know what his delivery was. I don't know if it was tongue in cheek, if he was very serious about it. Are there any quotes in there you think are?
Yeah, like this one right here where he says, I got along with him a lot better in the first Deadpool because he wasn't a huge movie star, which is kind of weird because like Ryan Reynolds was already way huge before Deadpool. He was a big movie star.
Dude, he goes back to the 90s with Van Wilder.
Yeah, Van Wilder.
Yeah.
So he's got a lot of claims that just don't really make a lot of sense because they're not relevant at all.
Yeah, he would have been a big actor in America for sure. Yeah. Globally on a catastrophic level with Deadpool. I mean, that's got to be a franchise that big. And that thing was such a smash right out the gate.
Yeah.
If there's anything else in there you think we need to...
this last part too, where he said he wouldn't do Deadpool 3. He said, quote, I don't really think you should do something for more than 5 years. Yeah, he said, I don't think you should really do something for more than 5 years. I think it'd be weird to go back and play Weasel 10 years later, saying he wouldn't do it just because it's been too long.
Okay.
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense if the storyline's still...
Yeah, it's trilogy now.
Yeah. And it's who knows?
That's weird.
Maybe they're just covering for themselves. They don't want to say what's really going on, But seems like you could pull it together for something like that, and you could cash in, just don't be an asshole. And it's kind of... so the internet has been left divided over the constant gay jokes in Deadpool and Wolverine, with some people branding them as relentless and annoying. I would I would call them relentless and awesome.
Funny?
But that's just me. Yeah, fucking funny. You know what else is relentless in this movie? The Coke references and jokes. Yeah. Fucking hilarious. Fucking hilarious. Deadpool, let's see. But viewers seem divided over the flick on social media, of course. Take it for what it's worth. Particularly the amount of quips that Ryan Reynolds' character Deadpool made about wanting to get intimate with Hugh Jackman's character of Wolverine, which I found hilarious.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of taking it to an extreme. Like,
yeah,
all men can look at someone like Brad Pitt in Fight Club and be like, Jesus Christ, I'd fuck that dude.
But it also goes back to like Deadpool 1, where when he pulled Deadpool's mask off, his girlfriend did for the first time, he was wearing Hugh Jackman's face on a magazine stapled to his.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. It's fun. It's over the top but funny is what it is, you know. Yeah. Immediately, Twitter, X, whatever, was flooded with posts about it. One person says, you're watching Deadpool and Wolverine, and they make another unfunny gay joke alongside of a GIF showing someone looking unamused in a movie theater. You, sir, are a bummer, is what you are. I don't know what the unfunny gay joke was, because you could do tired, like, I don't even know what tired, lame gay jokes are. But
asses.
What's that?
The gay man's asshole.
Gay man's ass. No, but I mean, yeah, just like gay in general. That would be, oh my God, I heard that joke in this movie. Like, I don't remember hearing any repeated jokes,
No.
Me, when Deadpool makes the 5th joke in a row where the punchline is being gay, added another with a GIF that featured someone drinking bleach. It was really interesting choice for Marvel to pack Deadpool and Wolverine with relentless and exhausting gay jokes. The same joke told over and over eventually gets stale. Listen, gay jokes are like farts. If done right, they're always funny. They were funny when you were 8. They were funny when you were 2. They're funny when you're 100. Like, that's just what they are. And gay jokes can be like that. Like, if it's funny, if it's delivered well, they'll always be funny.
You know what's funny is this is very ironic to me, because it's kind of like what the gay community does that pisses me off the most, and that's make being gay their entire personality.
Right.
And now if they're complaining about too many gay jokes and no changing it up, I'm like, that's kind of a mirror to yourself, dude. That's probably why they're pissed.
Yeah. You're part of society now. Gay people. You're part of society. You're not living in closets and shadows anymore. But that openness comes with, ridicule at times when you do something stupid. Of course, people are going to tag you for that. It's just how human nature works. Like, you can't have it both ways. We want to be flamboyantly out of the closet wherever we want. And I find it ironic, too, that with the gay thing, if the only way people would know that someone's gay is by you being flamboyantly gay, you have to be that kind of gay. The rest of the gays don't matter to you, right? The gay that just is gay, you don't know anything about. Like, featuring him in a movie where you can't play up the fact that they're gay doesn't win you any points. You don't get the virtue over that. Do you see the problem they have?
Yeah.
So I know I'm preaching to the choir with you, but Deadpool and Wolverine was good, but god damn, I don't think I've ever seen that many gay jokes in anything in my life. I kept waiting for them to get off the stupid gay jokes and find some new material. Others came to their defense. There's a lot of jokes, sure, but they aren't like making fun of gay people. The subject matter, I thought they were in fact funny, because it never felt like they were making fun of Deadpool for being gay. Just felt like that's how he is, which is cool.
Yeah.
Joe says, I snuck away from Fantasia. Is that a movie?
I guess.
Okay.
I mean, Fantasia is like the old Mickey Mouse movie.
Okay.
From the 30s.
All right. I snuck away from Fantasia to check out Deadpool Wolverine. Wish I hadn't. It's shockingly bad. From the CGI blood to the frat boy gay jokes to the lack of stakes to the terrible villain, poor Emma Corrin. It's an unequivocal mess. Really?
It's faggot. I don't know what else to say. I
can't. It seems like his real bitch is about the gay jokes. I don't know. It was really interesting choice for Marvel to pack. I read that one. Yeah. Let's see. Okay. Had a discussion today with a rando. Okay, conversations that didn't happen. Had a discussion with a rando about Deadpool's sexuality, as we all do when we walk around and meet strangers. Why wouldn't we bring up Deadpool's sexuality to strangers? I thought it would be interesting if it was an actual plot element instead of a comedic crutch in the new one. The guy says, "Who'd pay to watch a gay superhero movie?" And I was like, are you not going to watch Venom 3? I don't know what the shot is there. I saw the preview for it.
I guess he's gay. I don't know.
I don't know. Okay, I was hoping you'd be my resident comic book dude that could tell me what
Venom's DC, man. I already said yesterday. I'm X-Men Marvel.
Okay, all right. So wait, what is that, DC?
That's DC Spider-Man. Or not DC Spider-Man. That's Marvel. I'm totally out of it. That is that's Marvel Spider-Man, like Avengers stuff, not DC. I was not wrong on that before anyone corrects me.
Yeah, they will. Really rubbed me the wrong way that Deadpool referred to gay people as the gays. Oh, come on. I refer to them as the gays, the blacks, the gays, whatever. In the new movie, as if he isn't queer himself. I hate how his queerness is only ever played as a joke and never once sincerely. So they wanted him to make out with Wolverine, I guess.
Yeah.
They go out of their way to confirm that Deadpool's straight after wall-to-wall gay jokes. Insane how homophobic it all is. All right. Quinn, inventor of the Susan dog, says, a lot of humor in the movie is just, ha-ha, Deadpool is acting gay. Though, also they had to throw in the line that tells the viewer, don't worry, Deadpool is actually straight. It's okay. So, and then I guess people were taking issue too that there were a lot of the promotional stuff that was put out, the posters. I thought was hilarious. Doing the hearts and one hand is Deadpool's, one hand is Wolverine's, hilarious. The Wolverine's hand with the knives coming out of it, and Deadpool's finger on one of the blades. And then people are like, oh my God, but then in the movie, so we thought this was going to be some romantic love between Wolverine and Deadpool. And then we get there and we were just queer teased. And it's like, did you think they were going to show him butt fucking in the theater? What did you think was going to happen?
Just because Hugh Jackman's gay doesn't mean Wolverine is gay.
Hugh Jackman used to be my neighbor. So,
well, he also did musicals. Probably. Gay.
Yeah. And they reference that in the movie, which is fucking hilarious. Dude, the whole thing is hilarious. Digital spy. So the Guardian accused Marvel of queer baiting. I love that as a term, queer baiting. Like they reeled you into the movie theater thinking you were going to get to see gay sex with Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman.
Hugh Jack-off men.
Yeah. Yeah. And they failed you. They queer baited you in. You know, I don't know if they had a dildo on a stick, and they reeled you in, into the theater, and then you got there with your Marina. What's that?
So that's how I got Marina.
Exactly, right? I thought, isn't that how you guys always get dates and find each other?
You just cast a lube on a stick and see what comes back.
Yeah, exactly. It's what I just assumed was going on. The film's pansexual insinuations go no further. It's neither surprising nor particularly detrimental to its joyless functionality as multiplex fodder. The film's prudence on this front does, however, underline the queer-baiting cynicism of its marketing, which places significantly more emphasis on Deadpool's sexuality than the finished product ever does. Again, thought they were going to butt fuck in the movie.
Yeah.
I don't know what they wanted. The outlet slammed the movie for treating same-sex attraction as little more than a gag. The possibility of the two characters having such sex is such an extreme possibility that it falls in the realm of promotional satire. Hilarious to joke about, too shocking to contemplate. I'll get your opinion on this in a second. Digital Spy also bashed the movie for alluding to the characters' sexualities in the posters, only to turn it into a joke. Allusions to their sexualities in the marketing just amounted to a joke, and it was tedious, homophobic one at that. It's extremely 90s, this notion that men loving other men is a punchline, regardless of the intentions behind it. Yes, it's extremely 90s. Yes, the people that made this movie grew up then. That's what their influences were. So we'll see what later generations produce. I've seen some of it, and I'm not terribly impressed. Maybe I'm just an old man, but I don't see you guys you youngins writing great shit out there that turns into blockbusters. It's easy to mock everybody else, and God forbid someone grew up in the 90s. Holy shit.
Yeah.
I don't understand it. Now, I'm not going to at all. There were definitely 100% many jokes about the timeline, storyline of this movie that went sailing over my head. I have not seen Logan. I haven't seen Wolverine. I've seen the very first X-Men. I think I mentioned that yesterday. And I've seen like the first 20 minutes, maybe 40 minutes of X2. That's the extent of it. So the little girl, Wolverine, Logan apparently dying, like that whole storyline I'm not familiar with. I haven't seen it. But I got the impression from talking to you yesterday, Garrett, that this is very, very much like the whole Deadpool identity, if you will, is what is in the comics.
Yes.
And do you want to elaborate, like the breaking to the fourth wall, like all of that stuff?
Yeah, Deadpool's always just been a character who can kind of get out of any situation he wants just through fourth wall breaks and writing his own book. It's just kind of like he was written as a comedy character, as just kind of like a joke, overpowered. How do we make the most overpowered, stupid thing ever? And it was basically two guys. Marvel approved it. Deadpool became part of the X-Men, and then eventually he started spanning across everything. He actually has a whole comic series where he goes and individually kills every other member of the Marvel universe.
Okay. So it's kind of on point.
Yeah.
What they've done with the movie series. It's great the way, someone like me who did not have to follow the comics at all can absolutely love those movies.
Yeah.
You were saying that it answered a lot of questions and fixed a lot of problems that fans have had.
Yeah. I don't want to spoil anything with this one just because it kind of involves spoilers, but a lot of the problems because Marvel's restarted and done a bunch of timelines, spring-offs, the X-Men, the Marvel Avengers, their Elektra, Blade. They've started their own franchises a million different times in a million different ways, and this movie kind of gives it a way where they can just kind of go back to those and have it make sense.
Yeah, and I was able to follow some of that, but still, regardless, it was great.
Yeah.
I found myself literally laughing out loud. I don't laugh out loud very often at movies, stuff like that, but so funny. So funny. And they talked about it being an R-rated movie too, and how they were marveling, if you will, at how much money was generated through sponsors. I think it's Coca-Cola maybe, and obviously Xbox, and I think Ryan Reynolds' gin is somehow like they did a big bar promotion. It's R-rated, but it's remarkable how much money they've made without having a car sponsor. So a lot of these, it's like, it features a Raptor, and Ford is doing product placement, or whatever.
Because there's a scene you would think is product placement.
Dude, that's what I was going to say. Like, the missed opportunity it's almost a character in and of itself.
A company missed out.
Yeah. Like, how
or just got free advertising.
True. Yeah, it's great. And at first I was like, oh man, yeah, I wouldn't want to be them in this, but go ahead.
A lot of times these companies, though, do have stipulations where if you put their car in your movie, you can't destroy it in certain ways or do certain things with it. And I think they probably would have rejected a car sponsor that use a car in their movies, so that way they could do that scene.
Yeah, but
get away with everything.
I was going to say at first it was like, yeah, they're not going to want anything to do with this. And then it kind of turns and it, a little bit. So I don't want to give anything away either. I've probably said too much already, but we'll give it a few more weeks. Let people trickle in and see it. I can't wait. Like, dude, I have gotten so accustomed to watching this stuff at home, and while it's not a 100-foot screen, it's awesome to be able to back stuff up, because there was a lot of people laughing in the theater last night. I know there was things that were happening rapid fire that I missed in the dialogue. So I can't wait for this to come out, where you can, buy it for $20 or whatever it is on Apple Plus or Disney. And, that'll be cool. I'm sure we'll do that here as soon as it becomes available. But the movie theater experience has gotten pretty fucking incredible, man. If you go to those, like the days of the uncomfortable seat that you need to just sit in for 2 hours plus are gone. The sound system was incredible. I was at an AMC theater last night, and I mean, the big fucking reclining chairs and plenty of space, no one in front of you, you know, there's like, it was great, man. Loud. The system was booming. It was really cool. I don't know if it would be any different because they were advertising, you know, that it was in IMAX as well. I don't know how much better that experience would be. It's pretty fucking awesome seeing it in the regular theater.
Yeah.
Last night. Did you go? You didn't go to the IMAX, did you?
No, I just went to the Phoenix in Livonia. That small little hole in the wall. I love it.
Really?
You can
big
always
enough
get
screen?
tickets. Yeah, big enough screen, loud. They're comfortable seats, reclining, heated. We're good.
Nice. Yeah, that's all you need. Do they have the waiter there or waitress that'll come to you?
No waiters, no.
Yeah, well, I didn't have that either, but that
Just
was
a bunch
okay.
of my ex-girlfriends that make it awkward.
What's that?
Just a bunch of my ex-girlfriends that make it awkward.
Ex-girlfriends?
Yeah, back in high school when I was still a little questioning.
Yeah, okay. You were queuing.
You become an adult and you're like, oh, you still work here.
Yeah.
Hi, can I get some 2 tickets, please? Yeah, this is my new girlfriend.
Yeah. You introduce them to Marina?
I just kind of pretend they don't know me and think I look different.
Are they still working there?
Some of them.
Some of them, yeah.
One at least I saw.
Yeah, that's all right. Great movie though. I can't tell you enough. You know, they're certainly not paying us to give a review, but fuck, man, if you're a fan of the first two, I was worried. I went in with lower expectations because I was reading even stuff from people on Facebook where it was just like, it doesn't live up to it. Like, dude, I thought it was fucking awesome. I really, really enjoyed it. The Olympics are still going on.
Oh, also, before we get to this, I want to say that we got a $5 super chat from a great name, by the way, the Deserted Cast fan, number one fan. $5 says, I wish Marina the best. You two gents look great today.
Oh, thank you. I think I look better because I've got better lighting than Garrett.
Yeah, I'm gonna. We
need to get you one of those rings or whatever.
Trust me. Going through the TDC Amazon link.
Yeah. Maybe I
get paid tomorrow. I'm gonna start. Oh, you're good. I get paid tomorrow. I'm gonna start setting up a couple other things I got to get to.
What do you have behind you? Is that a Lego model?
No, it's a gun.
Oh, that's a gun. Yeah. It looks like a battleship of some sort. This story will excite you, Garrett. I don't know how else to put it.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So keep yourself in check. Maybe Marina wants to cover her eyes and ears for a moment, but Olympic fans have gone into a meltdown over this French swimmer. And I love the headline of the story. French diver sends Olympic fans wild as picture of his very tight swimming trunks goes viral. Okay. It's not the tight swimming trunks, folks.
Yeah.
They all have super tight swimming trunks, uncomfortably tight swimming trunks. Okay. I had to go to when I went to California 2 weeks ago or whatever it was, I had to go to a swim meet for Madison and Reed. And Jen is one of the judges, you know, they've got, and I remember when I was a kid and swimming and stuff, like it's full on, like toddlers to high school and part of this swimming club out there in Pleasanton, California. Yep. And it's really cool. All the families are there. They barbecue and, you know, and then they all cheer each other on and they do their swim meets, but it's fucking uncomfortable walking around seeing male swimmers in their Speedos. It just is. You know, we are not all created equal. And that goes all the way up the chain. And it is what it is. But it is not the tightness of the swimming trunks in this particular case. Jules Bauer competes in the final of the men's synchronized 3-meter springboard final on Friday. We want to wish him luck. He's 22 years old from Annecy, France. He'll dive alongside teammate Alexis Jandard, who has also attracted plenty of attention because he's apparently hot. Boyer will also complete in the individual 3-meter springboard event next week, but a picture of him showering poolside has taken the internet by storm. Fans were left speechless by one particular picture. Do we have the picture there, Garrett?
Yeah, we do. Hold on.
I don't know if I might have just sent you the story. I don't know if
you sent it to me. I got the pictures from it.
Okay.
Here's one of them.
Yeah.
So, sorry, that was pre-show research. Here's the picture.
Yeah. Pre-show research.
It was research. You sent it to me.
Yeah. Good job on your pre-show research.
Just doing my diligence.
Yeah. I hear you. I'm sorry, but that gentleman appears to be very excited about, or starting to be very excited about, his dive.
Yeah.
I mean, is that just what God gave him, or is that a little bit of like the Rubik's Cube phenomenon?
I think he's got tucked upwards too, which is helping him out. It's giving him a little bit of pull off the body.
Well, I think we all try to do that.
Yeah.
At times. Yeah, the guy's got a huge cock. Your cock is huge, sir. I'm in awe of your cock. Is the drop that comes to mind. So, I love these fucking people that write these stories. It shows him wearing a pair of very tight swimming trunks. Yeah, is that what it is? The tight swimming trunks is what we're all noticing. Boy, those are 2 sizes too small.
Now Marina's noticing. She's in the chat having a great time.
Oh, yeah? Is she a fan?
No complaints here. He's smuggling a hot dog.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he sure is. So one person put out there, this is the only reason I love the Olympics. Yeah, you do get to see a lot of this kind of stuff in the Summer Olympics anyways. I just really hope his Speedo is getting paid time and a half. Third fan, he fills out his Speedo very well. Yeah,
a little bit.
Good for him. He had no choice. I mean, he could have been a world champion, in something like downhill skiing. But yeah, with what God gave him there, I don't know what he's feeding that thing, but with what he's got, swimming seems like the natural progression. To be able to show that off. You know what I mean?
Here's like him and his hot friend too.
Is that? Let me see. Yeah. This is the one they're all okay. Can you stop doing show research? So the one on the left is the guy we were just looking at. The one on the right there in that image is his synchronized partner. God, those guys are fucking shredded, aren't they? Yeah. Jesus.
That is nothing but lean protein.
Yeah. I wonder if they're on a vegan diet.
For the record, I want to say Mike pulls the shows, not me. I'm not complaining, but
yeah, I did that for you, Garrett. I would. No, actually, I take that back. I would have done this story with anyone. It's funny, and I just the headline cracks me up so much when it's like, oh, the internet is reacting to his very tight Speedo. It's like, I don't think that's what the internet's reacting to. I'm just going to go out on a limb here. Call me crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know
what's going on.
Yeah, a little something. Let's just be honest about it. The guy's got a huge cock. Sorry, is what it is. He didn't have anything to do with it, So I was reading this article by Brendan O'Neill, how an off-color joke about women putting on blusher and an orgy of blasphemy exposed the hypocrisy behind cancel culture. I thought it was a decent article. I'll read it to you and see if this individual is on point. On Saturday evening, as Australia's triumphant 4x100 meter freestyle relay women's team were making their way out of the Paris Aquatic Center, Bob Ballard, sports commentator, observed, well, the women are just finishing up. You know what women are like, hanging around, doing their makeup.
Yeah.
Ouch. Yeah, we played it yesterday. There's no getting away from the fact that this was a gratuitously sexist remark. 4 women had just put in amazing performances to win gold, and here was this 64-year-old man musing on their application of lipstick and mascara, as if they were teenage girls about to hit the town. His co-presenter, Lizzie Simmons, immediately branded his remark as outrageous. Did she? She seemed to be chuckling along with it too. But yeah. Then his words went viral, and the combined might of the online woke community was unleashed on the veteran BBC journalist. Eurosport lost no time in bowing to the mob and sacrificing one of its own to the censorious blood loss of the internet. It issues a statement denouncing Ballard's inappropriate comment, adding he's been removed from our commentary roster with immediate effect. Ballard was on the next plane home despite his mea culpa and fulsome apology. This is the world we live in now, a world where there is no room for forgiveness or for understanding that just occasionally men of Ballard's generation, he was born in 1959, will fall into a style of small talk and banter of another era that jars with the painfully woke younger generation. I'll stop right there and say, I got news for you. While that's true, I have noticed something as well, and that is that the younger generation still has every bit the sexist mindset of their older brethren.
Yep.
They just don't feel comfortable saying it out loud or saying it online or in TV shows because they know what the consequences are. But when you talk to them one-on-one, from rather small individuals, young-wise, and teenagers and in people in their 20s and 30s right now, they're just as fucking they're no different, really.
No, not at all.
They just censor themselves, which is, disingenuous, if you will, in my opinion. You want points for being virtuous all the time, yet behind the scenes, you're not so virtuous. This happens in the business world a lot too. A lot, where these companies go out of their way to pretend, but behind the scenes, they know what it means to have, let's just put some broad on the board and act like she's one of the founding members or something. A lot of them do that. Oh, we get lots of points in the business world just for pretending to give a shit about women. They don't really do it because it's all fraudulent. Almost all of it is fraudulent.
Yeah.
So you see that all the time, and it's like, you fucking pussies. You guys are such cowards. I don't know how else they should play it, though. I guess there's a lot of money on the line. But don't think for a second any of these people believe this nonsense. They don't. And when you talk to them, I'm sure you have more interactions with them, with people of younger ages than I do, Garrett. I don't know if you can back me up on this.
People around my age are usually about as sexist as older people.
And I'm not trying to force you into saying.
Like forcing saying it. It is 100%. I've heard in not even just closed conversation or whatever. I'm not putting anyone on the spot, but coworkers who are 40s and 50s speak the same as mine who are 20, 30.
Yeah. That doesn't surprise me in the least. I see people in their 30s, people that are friends with my sister and her husband, and you're out with a group of people and they'll fucking absolutely roll their eyes and make inappropriate jokes about, oh, geez, this couple again, and it's like, holy fuck. I didn't think you were allowed to say that. I thought humanity had grown past that. We've all progressed and we're further down the road now. But no. So going back to the article, he had no intention of demeaning the swimmers. He just didn't think before he opened his mouth. I find this state of affairs deeply depressing, and it seems that many decent people agree. 55,000 people responded to a Mail Online poll on the issue yesterday. 72% believed that Ballard should not have lost his job over this. Most of them agreed that this was a ludicrous cancellation over a comment that was clearly a joke. One read, and we read this one yesterday, countless hours of commentary trying to keep things interesting and entertaining, sometimes when not much is happening, and then removed for one misjudged comment. A chance to apologize would have seemed more appropriate or proportionate. Take care, Bob. Now that, going back to the article, now that is an understanding. That is humanity. The woke left poses as moral and decent, and yet it dangles the guillotine of cancellation over the head of every individual who says something that they deem offensive. It is, in fact, the defenders of the canceled, the sympathizers with the victims of political correctness, like Bob Ballard, who really give voice to the civilized virtues of forgiveness, understanding, and freedom. Me, you, Garrett, who are not willing to just write off everybody in our lives. The amount of people I know on one side, of this conversation that are appalled that I would still push my pillow.
Yeah.
Use promo code TDC.
Please.
Because let's be honest, Mike Lindell, they are absolutely fine taking a company born and bred in America that hires American employees, that put out a product that was deemed absolutely good enough for all of you. There are plenty of shitty products in the world. Plenty of them that are not being ripped out of Walmart. Because I've heard that argument. Well, if his product sucked. Really? They didn't suck when he was amassing a $500 million fortune.
Yeah.
All the companies that for years and years who have stocked these things, they don't keep stocking those products if those products don't move. So to yank them out of all your stores overnight, and some of those companies don't exist anymore. So I don't know. Who's to say? But no, I don't, I've talked about my thoughts on Mike Lindell. I stand by him, and I'm not going to write anybody off. He's always been good to me. He's always been good to us. He's always been good to this show and this show's listeners. And so, no, I am not of the opinion you just write people off. And I give people as many chances as I possibly can. There's people that have been on my show multiple times that probably shouldn't be on my show. I'll just leave it at that for things that they've done that go way beyond a comment or something. And they're usually the most judgy of people out there, if you know what I mean. And I continue to give people chances because I believe the best in people. And I just do. I'll leave it at that. Just a few days in, and the Paris Olympics have now not only exposed the merciless nature of cancel culture, they have also highlighted its rank hypocrisy. For if you really want to see offensive commentary, forget Bob Ballard's lame joke. Let me refer you instead to the game's opening ceremony on Friday. There I saw far greater degradation of womankind at that rain-soaked festival. The headless Marie Antoinette singing a heavy metal song was certainly in poor taste, but most disturbing of all was the grotesque caricature of the Last Supper. I know there's an argument on the other side of this. Personally, I don't really have a dog in this fight, but I understand. And I think wink, wink, nod, nod. You knew exactly what you were doing. You can lean on, historical context. What were they trying to say that it was? I can't remember the name of the feast in France. Dionysus. Yeah.
Great. God.
Yeah, but everybody takes a look at that picture and says the same thing. Everybody knows what the Last Supper looks like. You know what the symbolization is, and so there's no way you have pre-production meetings, you have drawing up the plans in advance to do something like that without someone tapping you and going, boy, oh boy, man, this really looks like the Last Supper. Like, that's intentional. Okay, that's not something that just happens. Like, that's years of planning, and that's what you decided to do. And it served the purpose, maybe. Got people talking about it. Maybe that was your goal. But don't pretend like, oh, wow, we couldn't see that coming, that people were going to perceive it this way and then take offense to it. Like, no shit.
Yeah.
No shit they were. A group of drag queens gathered around a fat woman wearing a halo in what seemed to me, and many millions watching, a direct mockery of Da Vinci's famous depiction of Jesus with his disciples the night before his crucifixion, before he was betrayed by Judas. The drag disciples were then served a portly, naked, blue-painted man and a platter of fruit. So that's okay, is it? An off-color joke about women putting on blush will get you hounded out of town, but you turn Jesus Christ into a woman and surround him with preening drag queens in a blasphemous orgy of Bible-mocking grossness, and you will be praised.
Yeah.
For, of course, the woke have naturally gushed over this performance, praising the performer's transgressive demeaning of women in Christianity despite the howls of outrage from those of religious belief. Worse still, let's not forget this is an Olympics in which a convicted pedophile has been allowed to compete. I didn't even know that. Steven van de Velde is a member of the Netherlands beach volleyball team, despite having been found guilty of raping a 12-year-old British schoolgirl in 2014.
Christ, 12 too.
Yeah, he was 19 at the time. Yeah, he was sentenced 4 years in jail for that. 4 years in prison. Yeah, banging a 12-year-old. In the warped moral universe of the woke, making an un-PC joke is deemed a greater crime than abusing a child or offending billions of decent people of religious faith around the world. It is telling me that Bob Ballard has behaved with the utmost. It is telling to me that Bob Ballard has behaved with the utmost graciousness despite his removal. And, they go on to, he just goes on to finish it by mentioning, he's like, hey, don't attack her, my cohort. She didn't have anything to do with it. I believed his apology. He was like, look, man, sorry. I certainly didn't mean to offend anyone.
Yeah.
It's just this crazy world we're living in. I wonder, how many women feel offended by, some of these grown ass fucking men doing the charactering of, I mean, honestly, when you there's just such a difference to me in someone like Marina, who's like, hey, this is what I am. You don't run around and like, let's prop up tits in the skimpiest fucking outfit you can possibly in 6-inch heels with the trashiest, most mocking display of whorish woman behavior you can do, and then act like what? Well, I'm just a lady. It's like, no.
And it's hard too, because some of the drag culture is that like crazy, vibrant, whatever, flamboyant shit. That's part of the drag queen thing. But even Marina gets offended at this. A lot of the problem we're having is the people who are claiming to be trans, but they're just dudes who grew their hair out.
Yeah.
And they're like, I'm a woman, just a lady.
Yeah.
It's like, you look like me. You look like me.
Yeah. And they're not trying to say like, I've always known since I was a child that I was a woman inside. Like, you're not talking about that. It's just they want to go out, snap their fingers and be like, I am lady.
Yeah.
Everybody respect it. And it's
ma'am.
Yeah, ma'am. God, I love that video.
I know.
Where was that again? That was at
GameStop.
GameStop, yeah.
Yep.
That was that the original?
That was one of the originals.
That was
ma'am.
Yeah. It is. You want to go outside and I'll show you a ma'am. Like, that fucking dude was the first time that I can remember really where the whole world was like, what the fuck? Because it was the first time like we all thought we were in on the joke. Like, okay, that's not a ma'am.
Yeah.
That's behaving exactly like a dude would behave in this situation. And we expected everyone to laugh along with it. And then there was this whole push on one side to be like, no, that's just a lady. Just a lady. Don't worry about him. Her. And you will address her as ma'am. And it was like, holy fuck, we're living in an alternate universe right now.
Yeah.
There was also this is the other one. They've got boxing in the Olympics, and footage of this trans boxer is in there, just kicking the shit out of some chick.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. And in this particular case, because I watched the video, I didn't even bother sending it to you. They're like, you got to cut through the story of what they're saying. It's kind of like the partner of Bob Eller was outraged. It's like, I listened to it. Didn't seem very outraged. So this transgender boxer who's been allowed to compete in the Olympics, landing brutal shots on a female opponent, has emerged on social media. Brutal's a strong word. I wouldn't say that they were brutal shots. Kicking someone's ass a little bit, landing some punches. Sure. It was more of a pussy man. It wasn't Heather Swanson.
No.
Like if it was, oh yeah, Heather Swanson in there, like that's the fear. That's the fear that you're going to get that person going in there like, oh, okay, anybody can do this? Fine. Let's go. Lace them up. And if rational heads don't fucking stand up, some chick is gonna get her fucking tits kicked in.
Yeah, it's gonna be
horribly. Like I feel like you want to pull this goofy shit on a cooking show, knock yourselves out.
Yeah.
You want to start a home renovation show where you've got, it doesn't matter. The end result doesn't matter. It's like, who cares? But when you're talking about boxing at the Olympics, and this is the part, it's like people want to shit on me a lot. Like, oh my God, I can't believe he's talking about this again or that. And it's like, no, man, this is the fucking Olympics. Okay. Do you see where this is going? Like, fine. I guess I'll be the only one that stands up for a woman here. If they don't want to, if they can't stand up for themselves, or find it incredibly difficult because of the onslaught of abuse they'll take. And look at the Kentucky swimmer, who had a problem with Leah Thomas. And Leah Thomas, by all accounts, sounds like a real fucking asshole.
Yeah, Riley
if you ask me. Riley Gaines. Riley Gaines has had her life threatened constantly over this. And you listen to her. If you actually listen to her, you go, fuck, man, that sounds awful. Wondering, like, who is this Leah Thomas coming up the ranks, breaking all my records? Like, what is that? Who is this? I worked my fucking ass off.
Yeah.
I felt bad for this boxer at the Olympics. Mexico's Tamara came forward with her experience of fighting Khalif. That's this dude's name. Earlier in the tournament, when I fought with her, I felt very out of my depth. Her blows hurt me a lot. I don't think I had ever felt like that in my 13 years as a boxer, nor in my sparring with men even. Thank God that day I got out of the ring safely. It's good that they finally realized. Both Kelif and Yu Tang, another boxer, this one South Korean, I believe, that they're claiming is trans.
Okay.
I think they were trying to say that they weren't, that they were actual women. And there was some testing done by the World Boxing Championships back in 23 in New Delhi. And they went, no, XY chromosome. You're not technically a woman. And they banned them. And the Olympic Committee was like, oh my God, totally, they're women. Come on in. And so, yeah, I don't know that these chicks even know that this is necessarily what it is. But eventually, you're not going to have a pussy male in the ring. You're going to get a real fucking dude in there.
Yeah.
And going to fuck someone up bad. The IOC say all athletes involved are eligible to compete, with current rules viewed as more relaxed than those of the IBA. Following this year's ban, the Algerian Olympic Committee hit back, claiming so the one is Algerian, and so they're like, what are the Algerians going to win gold in? It's like, yeah, you better throw a dude in there with some gloves on to beat the shit out of a woman. Then maybe you can bring home a gold medal. And so they're pushing back on this. They're like, claiming the disqualification was a part of a conspiracy to stop them from winning a gold medal. And said medical reasons were behind high testosterone levels. And I was like, like balls? Is that what you mean? Maybe they mean balls. I don't know what their reason medically would be for high testosterone levels when people called this out. But
where is it produced?
Yeah, they struggle with the whole XY versus XX thing. That's a tough one. And I was saying, maybe it's 100 years from now, maybe it's 20 years from now, maybe it's 1,000 years from now, where you get to that point where you can physically alter your genetics and do exactly what the dream is now. Like I woke up today and I feel like a woman. I'm a woman, and you will. It's clownish on a lot of levels to a lot of people right now. I don't mean to be overly offensive. I know most of what I say is, but we may get there. We're not there now. Certainly the medical field isn't there now. Clearly there's an appetite for it. So I don't think it'll stop. But yeah, at this point, it just strikes me as dangerous. And a lot of women are having trouble coming out and claiming to have a problem with this.
Yeah, I think it's very dangerous, especially with the way, and it's not a shot at women or men or at all, but the way men and women develop is very different. That men get their center of gravity in the shoulders and arms for throwing punches and carrying heavy things, whereas women get in the hips because men can't bear children, but they need to carry the kids. And
it's why they suck at jumping in basketball, because their center of gravity's in the hips.
That's what I'm saying. It's just one of those things where it's like, just unfortunately, the way humans develop is just not going to mesh well, and we're going to end up hurting a lot of women.
And it goes down to a molecular level. This idea of like, oh, I took a shot of something and my testosterone's low. Like, that's great, but that's not the equivalent of muscle.
You got the shoulders
tissue.
Of alignment.
Yeah, exactly. Journalists at the Olympics, another one was suspended. And he's a Polish journalist. What happened to good Polish jokes? Were Polish jokes popular when you were growing up, Garrett?
I haven't heard too many of them.
No, they were fucking huge. When I was a kid, you would like, how many Polish guys does it take to screw in a light bulb? Shit like that was, it was like
light there and the other one turn them, spin them.
Yeah, shit like that. Exactly. It was like Ethiopian jokes for malnourished people and Polish jokes for stupid people. I don't know what's happened to those. I feel like as I get older, maybe the Poles got a bad rap.
I got called Ethiopian a lot growing up. I was always
you're rail thin.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. What do you weigh? 78 pounds?
Something like that.
Yeah.
155.
I feel like I might owe a grand apology to the Poles, because I feel like we called them stupid for decades. When I was stupid too, I didn't know any better. They were just jokes I heard on the playground. Seemed funny enough, but anyways, this Polish journalist, sports commentator, Bob. I'm not even going to try to pronounce this fucking cat's name. All right, I'll try. Przemysław Babiarz.
Bob.
Yeah, we'll just call him Bob for the sake of this article. He's been suspended from the Paris Olympics after labeling John Lennon's Imagine a vision of communism.
During the 20.
Well, we'll get to it. But during the Olympics, so the song was sung by French singer Juliette Armanet at the opening ceremony. I didn't watch the opening ceremony. I didn't see this, but we're seeing the fallout of it, whether it's the last meal depiction or this kind of stuff. While it was playing, the Polish state broadcaster said on air, "This is a vision of communism, unfortunately." Comments immediately triggered a reaction for those watching in Poland. Public broadcaster works Barbiar's works for in Warsaw, TVP, later issued a statement that made it clear the well-known commentator would not be commenting on air any longer from Paris about any more of these Olympic Games. Mutual understanding, tolerance, reconciliation. These are not only the basic Olympic ideas, they're also the basis for the standards that guide Polish TV. Well, they sound like they're going back to their stupid days. So is there any truth to what he said, though? Is Imagine by John Lennon. It's a musical masterpiece. There's no question about it. And can you imagine, by the way, I'll just go on record. Not that I am for the assassination or murder of anybody, but can you imagine what a pretentious, know-it-all, pompous asshole fucking John Lennon would be today if he were still around?
Him and Kurt Cobain.
Yeah.
Those are two guys I think would have ruined themselves.
Yeah. Kurt going out at what, 27? Was he part of the 27 club?
Yes, he was. And
John, I believe, was 40. But John would have only got we still have McCartney. McCartney's great. McCartney is brilliant, and Lennon gets even more credit than he probably even deserves. Hard to say because he's a Beatle, but
Ringo
being
gets
dead,
all the credit he deserves.
What's that?
It's saying Ringo still gets all the credit he deserves.
Yeah. I think George was every bit the contributor. Now they wrote the lyrics and whatnot. And look, John Lennon's a fucking genius, no doubt about it. Like the Beatles are unbelievable. Their writing, their talent, it's unquestioned. But as a human being, John Lennon was already eking into one of the most annoying people on earth. Long before you were born. I believe he was killed in 1980. But I was too young then to even know how annoying John Lennon was. But I've watched, especially being around Drew as long as I have, I've seen enough Beatles documentaries and stories and articles and books. I've read, I had a course in college about the Beatles. The 2 years I went to community college, but I took a course on the Beatles. So I'm quite familiar with John Lennon as I got older, and would he have been an annoying fuck now? He would not have stopped. He would not have, he
was back then too to me.
Oh yeah. 100%. He would have just think like Bruce Springsteen, Eddie Vedder on steroids. He would have been one of those guys. He would have been the worst. He would have been worse than Bono. It's like, you know what, John, it sucks that we lost you when we did, but boy, he would have been a pretentious pain in the ass all these years later. Yeah. He just think about him on the interview circuit. But so let's look at the lyrics really quick of Imagine. Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us, above us only sky. Imagine all the people living for today. Well, that definitely seems like a push to eliminate religion.
A little bit.
Yeah. Imagine there's no countries. It isn't hard to do. Nothing to kill or die for, and no religion too. Imagine all the people living life in peace. Wouldn't that be a dream? The communists always think that that's the dream, that's how it would play out. It never does. I mean, this has been tried. It's been tried all over the world. You could ask people to give you one example where it works, and they might claim they'll give you bullshit answers, but the reality is what it is. And imagine there's no countries. That's precisely what's going on with globalist elites today. That's what their dream is. No borders, no countries. John was just ahead of his time. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us and the world will be as one. Imagine no possessions. I wonder if you can. No need for greed or hunger. A brotherhood of man. Imagine all the people sharing all the world. Klaus Schwab could have written those lyrics,
Yeah.
right? You will own nothing and love it, like it. That's Klaus Schwab, not his Nazi father. Okay, I want to be clear. I'm not talking about the Nazi Schwab. That was his dad, who was part of the Nazis. Klaus Schwab is the 86-year-old fucking psychopath Bond villain who was the executive chair of the World Economic Forum.
And somehow worse than an actual Nazi.
Yeah, worse than an actual Nazi and actually worse than a Bond villain, by all accounts. He honestly believes that having, no religion, not having children would save the environment more. None of these rules apply to him, mind you. Keep that in mind. He's talking about you, not him or people like him. Yep. Eating bugs will be awesome. That's one of their things, is eating bugs. And you'll own nothing and like it. That's a quote from Klaus Schwab. So imagine no possessions. John Lennon, he would be he'd probably be chairing the World Economic Forum now.
Yep.
You may say I'm a dreamer. I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us and the world will live as one. It's a commie's wet dream set to a perfect musical score. But it is. I don't know that this guy said anything that I don't know what you would even take offense to there.
Yeah.
Am I missing anything there?
No, it's all communist. I have the 10 core tenets of communism right here, and we pretty much hit them.
Read them.
All right. So these are the 10 essential tenets of communism by Karl Marx himself. Total abolition of private property.
Yeah.
Heavy progressive income tax on everyone. Yeah. Elimination of rights of inheritance.
Oh, yeah. It's a good one.
Property rights confiscation. State central banking system, so bringing everyone's money together.
Yeah.
Government ownership of transportation and communication vehicles. Government ownership of agriculture, means, and factories, so everyone coming together.
Yeah.
Equal liability on all the work. Combining agriculture with manufacturing industries. Eventual redistribution of the population around the country as to equalize it. Then free education for children in public schools. Combine education with industrial production.
Wow.
So everyone coming together to work and owning nothing.
Yeah. Yeah. Boy, oh boy, that sounds like a nightmare. People don't know. How would you even try that in America? You might be able to pull that off in China.
Well, they start with socialism.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier. It goes, hey, the government owns some, not all, some.
Yeah. Yeah. The amount of people cheering this kind of behavior on, especially young people, it's just insane to me. It's insane that they'd be the first ones thrown the fuck out and put in check. They'd be the first ones put in check.
They all think the new communists overthrow the government. They're going to be bloggers for the rest of their life. No, you're going to work the fucking fields with everybody else.
Yeah.
You're not going to like it.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you see Joe Biden? I think he's still president, right?
If it's really him.
Yeah.
That's the new tinfoil hat going around.
Yeah, I'm not sure it is. Have you seen the images of the
height differences?
The height differences.
I'm kind of getting a little bit into it. I'm like, oh, something's here. Hold on.
Yeah, it's kind of funny.
Where's my tinfoil?
Yeah. Leonard Leo, he's co-chair of the Federalist Society, fired back at President Soup after Soup published an opinion piece yesterday demanding term limits for Supreme Court justices and a binding code of conduct for the Supreme Court. Justices should be required to disclose gifts, refrain from public political activity, recuse themselves, from cases in which they or their spouses have financial or other conflicts of interest. Biden and the Democrats have been attacking the two most conservative justices. They've been attacking them for decades. Joe Biden went after Clarence Thomas day one during the nomination process in the 80s. Sam Alito and Clarence Thomas claiming they have violated ethics standards. You could do this for multiple of the justices, by the way, go and attacking them for myriad reasons. AOC filed articles of impeachment. That's the latest weapon they appear to like to use, is the impeachment of people against Thomas and Alito, ranting the unchecked corruption crisis on the Supreme Court has now spiraled into a constitutional crisis, threatening American democracy writ large. You're the only threat to democracy writ large, AOC. Yeah. You and people that think like you, okay? No conservative justice has made any decision in any big case that has surprised anyone. And that's the reality. Like if you could point to things where you're like, Oh no, that's not exactly how they would have normally voted. No, things that come up, this is how the conservatives would respond. Everything goes along as it historically has. So let's stop pretending this is about undue influence. Leo fired back. It's about Democrats destroying a court they don't agree with. If Biden and the Democrats were truly serious about ethics reform, and this is why I wanted to read this, because I agree with this wholeheartedly. I'd be all for this. They would ban all gifts and hospitality of any kind to any public official in any branch of government, starting with Congress, where the real corruption is. They would close all the loopholes that allow members to travel on private jets to fancy hotels and restaurants. With respect to judges, they would include the things where influence peddling is most present and dangerous. And that's when the liberal justices rub shoulders with influencers at places like law schools, bar associations, progressive think tanks and their conferences, and other groups and events funded by left-wing billionaires, where they support real vested interests in the work of the court. Let me be clear. If Democrats want to adopt an across-the-board ethics ban for all branches, I'm in favor of that. No jets, no meals, no speaking honorariums, no gifts for anyone from anyone for any reason in any branch, starting with Congress. Until they support that, let's all be honest about what this is. It's a campaign to destroy a court they disagree with.
I agree with that.
I agree on literally every word he said there towards the end.
I'd go further.
But yeah, right? Wouldn't in a perfect world, wouldn't that be the way?
Yes.
You know, I don't know if you have an answer for, because I'm springing this on you. I didn't tell you I was going to do this story. Do you have any thoughts on how you'd even go further?
Oh, easily. If you or any of your family, if you're caught receiving any money from any kind of stock trading, arrested, insider trading, go fuck yourself. Because look at Nancy Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi trades higher than any billionaire ever.
Yeah.
Because she makes the laws.
I mean, it just makes sense. It would be,
knows about them.
You almost have to.
Yeah.
Like we know what human nature is. We just do. Insider trading, like even if you're trying to be the utmost upstanding, perfect individual, human nature what tells us that you're going to behave in your best interests. You know, you can be as, you can try all you want. You almost need to have like, look, if you're going to be in service of the country, if that's the role you want to do,
exactly,
it pays a nominal amount, but you're just serving, you're doing your country a duty and a service, and you shouldn't leave there worth tens, hundreds of millions of dollars, right?
Yeah.
When we all know your annual salary is 140, 180, whatever it is now, $1,000 a year. There's no excuse. There's no reason for you to be worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Joe Biden, no one, you can take Nancy Pelosi and go, oh, well, her husband, Paul, the gay guy with the hammer attack with his gay lover. That dude has apparently made a lot of money in business and whatnot. And you go, well, that's why Nancy has on it. It's bullshit, but you can at least say,
you shouldn't get it either.
Joe Biden there's not a family member that Joe Biden's in his orbit that has ever done anything worth a shit.
What are you talking about?
None of them.
Hunter was on the board.
The closest one in his family was Bo, the kid that died of fucking brain cancer. Bo seems like a decent individual. Literally every other person in Joe Biden's orbit is a fucking cretin, drain on the family. That's what they are. So Joe Biden leaving office worth $20 million? Like, give me a fucking break. The Obamas, same way. I mean, at least with the Bushes, you can go, they own the Texas Rangers. They're Texas. What do they come from? Oil, whatever the fuck they do. You go, it's family wealth. It's generational, whatever. Obama, no. Fuck. How is that dude? Netflix, that's the new money laundering these days, is a Netflix deal or a book deal with a fucking $8 million advance on a book no one's ever going to read. Hillary Clinton's book. I think Michelle Obama can make as much money out there. I think she actually sold some books. Joe Biden is a fucking joke. And I could say this because he's my president too. Okay. Yeah. He is. I look at the Supreme Court as this. The Supreme Court is the final boss level in any game, to put it in gaming terms. They own the entirety And by entirety, I mean vast, overwhelming majority. And anybody that tells you different is full of shit. They own the vast majority of the media landscape. Okay. So when you see stories come out, Joe Biden is sharp as a tack. We could barely keep up with him behind closed doors. When overnight an entire story like that comes out and then it's run ad nauseum across the fucking media landscape, that's telling you something. That's being pushed. You can't push a bullshit message like that unless you have an entire fucking organization working behind you to make that a reality. There's no way Trump could get a narrative lie like Joe Biden, sharp as a tack. Boy, the young staffers can't even keep up with him. Can't even keep up with him. He's so on top of everything. They told us that. Kamala Harris is super popular. That's the newest one. Kamala Harris is super popular.
The one with the 27% approval rating, lowest among almost every VP ever?
No, Garrett, that was a week ago.
Oh,
that was a week ago. That doesn't count. That doesn't count anymore.
You're right.
Kamala Harris was never the border czar.
No, again, yeah, you're right.
She wasn't the border czar. No. These are not the droids you're looking for. Like, don't just. I mean, it's gaslighting on a level I've never seen. The other one, pay attention to this. This has just started this weekend. You know what? JD Vance is weird. Yeah. And I specifically mean weird.
Couch fucker Vance?
the couch fucker JD Vance.
Yes.
And by the way, that has done exactly what I told you it was going to do. Yeah. That story has gotten legs now, and people are using that as a weapon about like, I don't know, man, do you really want a couch fucker in the Oval Office?
Yeah, that's going on. This point.
The fact that it's almost like it feels almost like there is a meeting in the morning where it's like, okay, today, folks, everyone here, all thousands of you outlets, today's message is JD Vance is weird, and I quote, everyone got it, and go. Because go Google it, go YouTube it, and find, you can find montages, and I mean plural, of all the usual talking heads going, I don't know what this JD Vance, it's weird. There's something, it's just weird. You know, this Marine entrepreneur, author who's like, seriously, this is the attack. This is the battle we're going with. JD Vance is weird. Okay. And even if that's true, there's no crime against being weird. I know a lot of weird people. They're some of the funnest people to be around personally, but that's neither here nor there. JD Vance is weird. The problem I have with it isn't that someone came out and went, this guy's fucking weird, man. Like, that's fine. It's the fact that every one of the same people all came out and used that word. That's where you lose me. That's where it doesn't feel genuine. That's where it falls apart. So, you know, whether Joe Biden is sharp as a tack, don't you feel a little bit deceived by Kamala Harris? They want to act like that we can just sweep that under the rug like that didn't happen. Really? Really? Yeah. Joe Biden has been a fucking mush brain, dead person for 4 years, literally. Shows like this have been bitching about it for 4 fucking straight years. Period. It doesn't bother you at all that Kamala Harris, up until 3 weeks ago, was saying literally he's hard to keep up with, sharp as a tack. All this, the cheap fake videos going out there trying to trash this brilliant, good man who's just working all hours of the night. Lied. That's a fucking lie. Yeah. They own the entirety of big tech. They own the entirety of Hollywood. They own the entirety of the education system, from kindergarten through higher education. They own the entirety of the American business class, right?
Yeah.
All of it. The one thing they do not own is the Supreme Court. And it's their own fucking fault. It's their own fault.
I was about to say, this all sounds like they're still mad about Ginsburg.
Yeah, they're pissy about Ginsburg. They fucked up with Ginsburg. I'll make a very good case about why they fucking pissed in the wind and it got in their own damn face about abortion too. Obama fucked you on abortion. The right was always going to do that with abortion.
Yeah.
And they didn't ban abortion. Stop saying that too. Send it back to the state levels.
The right fumbled abortion so hard it lost us midterms when we should have had a
100%.
red wave.
Yeah, so, should have been.
Goes both ways.
Yeah, it's just it's madness. It's madness. The other story that's kind of crazy. I was reading this article by Nadine Dorries about taking Ozempic-like meds. Okay, so these, what do they call? They're not statins. They're the weight loss, whatever that medication is, the jab you take. Full disclosure, they've been trying to get me on Mounjaro or Ozempic, or Wegovy. Is that the other one?
Yep.
Yeah, for well over a year now. My doctor in Michigan tried like crazy to put me on Mounjaro. I'd never heard of it. I didn't know what it was, but I'm a type 2 diabetic. So that's why. And my insurance company made it really fucking difficult. They denied me for everything, made me jump through 1,000 hoops. And it was like, okay, try these medications, those kind of hoops. It's not like I was running marathons, but they'd put you on all kinds of medications. And some of them really fuck you up. Some of them really mess with your ability to lots of things. They have horrible side effects. Think of all the worst ones you see on every commercial on TV. Those side effects they list off. A lot of them give you a lot of that stuff. So this person says, I wrote about my experience with one of the new Ozempic-like weight loss jabs. It was accompanied by a photo showing the dramatic transformation in my figure after just 4 weeks. And I'll continue reading the article here in a second. I'll finish that thought. So I ended up getting an endocrinologist. I think I talked about it on the show. She was smoking hot. Looked a lot like your mom, actually, Garrett, being totally serious. So maybe your mom's my type. Maybe that's what we're getting to. So this doctor was hot as shit too. You don't have a problem with me saying that because it's my doctor.
That's fine. No, it's your doctor.
Your mom's not a doctor, is she?
No.
Okay. So she's great. She's Russian or Polish or one of those countries. Yeah, Slavic and fucking beautiful. And but she's an endocrinologist, so this is her thing. She fucks with the diabetes people, and she's really good. And so she kind of took over from there and got me on a whole new level, and got my A1C down a little, but not enough. But I still wasn't enough to get this, or my level was too high for any of these drugs. Like it's been a fucking nightmare. And she started me on Ozempic. Okay. And she's like, I'll give you a sample of it because insurance wouldn't pay for it. And I was like, okay. And so she gave me a sample of it, and it was like a 2-month sample or something like that. Maybe it was 3 months. But they start you slower, and then after a month, you get on the regular dose. And so I was on it for, I think it was 3 months.
Okay.
And then I ran out of the sample. She was like, yeah, it's hard to get, so we don't give multiple samples to people. It's just a trial. But I noticed after a month, holy shit, this is working. And so I started, I wanted to get on it, and I was like, I reported to her like, holy fuck, this is, I feel a difference. I can feel it in my body, the difference in how I feel with type 2 diabetes versus how I feel with type 2 diabetes taking this medication versus all the other ones. And I said, is there any way while we're trying to jump through all these fucking hoops, you can give me another sample? And she's like, nah, all right, I'll give you one more. She gave me another one.
You actually have diabetes. You're not.
Yeah, exactly. It's not just cosmetic. It's
an actual medication for that.
And if it was, so fucking what?
Yeah.
And if I could afford it and that's what it was for, so fucking what? I don't care. I'm tired of seeing fat asses everywhere I turn. Like, what? There's a magic fucking drug out there that can help people who have historically struggled with, like, look around you. We're a fucking fat country. Probably the fattest country. We have a real problem that is eventually going to collapse our goddamn health system. So I don't have any problem with people cosmetically. Women are doing it like crazy, and apparently
I was gonna say nobody does, because once Ozempic came out, body positivity went way the fuck down.
Yeah. Isn't that funny how that works?
I didn't hear any healthy at any size.
Yeah, it's you know what? I think what's so annoying is the people that are like, no, I'm not on anything. I had a neighbor that was like that. It's like, yeah, I've known you for quite a few years. You've always been, you. And all of a sudden you're fucking, you're walking around and you're a $110 all of a sudden. What's going on here? I don't see you doing a lot of laps around the neighborhood, kind of thing. And I say that knowing that I also had I lost a lot of weight when I was finally diagnosed, without taking anything, just getting blood sugars a little bit under control when they were absolutely skyrocketing out of control. I gained 50 pounds, like no matter what I ate, no matter what I did. And so, in fairness to this person, maybe it was just similar situation. I don't know. So, anyways, I got a fucking letter when I got to Arizona. So I had, I was here with nothing.
Yeah.
I had nothing. I have my first doctor's appointment in Arizona next week. It might make doing a show next Wednesday. I think it's Wednesday. Hold on. Let me tell you right now. Next Tuesday. I have a doctor's appointment, like literally right at showtime. It's the earliest they could get me in. Only time they could see me for that. So we'll have to figure that out. But just a heads up.
Okay.
And I'm going to have to schedule many, many doctor's appointments and find a whole new team and all that. So I've been here for a couple months without anything, and I can feel it. And so, but I got a letter from my insurance company, and all of a sudden they're like, yeah, you've been approved for Mounjaro, and you're approved through 2029.
Oh,
I was like, what? You guys have been an absolute monster for well over a year. I've met all your criteria and you still fucking denied me every time. And then all of a sudden I get a letter being like, you're approved. So full disclosure, I started taking Mounjaro last Monday. And so we'll see. I don't feel any different yet. The one that I did feel different on was Ozempic. So I'm not approved for that. I don't know if it's the same. Greg Henson has been raving about Mounjaro forever. But anyways, I wrote about my experience on one of the new Ozempic weight loss jabs. It was accompanied by a photo showing this increase in my loss in my fingers after just 4 weeks. Despite some unpleasant side effects, I felt I'd turned my life and health around. I'm certainly no snowflake when it comes to abuse on social media, but even I was taken aback by the response. Stop taking drugs that should be used to treat people with diabetes. Well done in your support for Big Pharma. Why don't you lose weight in a good way with diet and exercise? And she says, like I hadn't tried that. And these are just some of the milder comments. It would appear that fat shaming women has now been replaced by jab shaming. You don't have to be a member of Mensa to work out that the majority of users of the new injections are women. So wheel out the ducking stool. Since I started my weekly injections of Mounjaro, so she's on that, I'm now 6 weeks in and 14 pounds down, and I've been speaking about it openly. Numerous women, young and old, have confided in me that they too are using the jab. The difference is they're doing it in secret. They haven't told husbands, partners, friends, family, despite the fact that most, like me, had long-term health issues. And she goes through myriad health issues that people have, blah, blah, blah. Yet these women feel that by turning to the jabs, they were doing something wrong. So they're all quietly doing this. But look, you're not fooling too many people, I never understood the Oprah thing. I've pulled the Oprah story a handful of times and just never gotten to it, where I don't know why someone who's been in the public eye for 50 years, who's been a fat ass for all 50 years.
Well known.
And that's what Oprah was. Okay. She's great at hosting a show. Always has been. I think I don't have any issues with Oprah. I think Oprah has tried in vain over and over. It started every season. Every new season, she'd come out. Here's what I'm doing now. She'd wheel out a wheelbarrow of fat and be like, this is how much I lost. Like, she has struggled and tried in vain for decades. And then all of a sudden, when these new drugs are on the market, and she would be someone that could go, I don't give a shit. It's how much? $4,000, $1,000 a month? Yeah, no problem. Fuck, give me it. She's one of the privileged few that can afford to do that. Of course she would do that, but then she comes out and says, "Oh no, it's just diet, exercise, just healthy eating, just laps around the block, doing laps in my pool." No, Oprah, No, you felt like you failed by taking a medication. That's what you felt. You felt like you were cheating, which is the thought. It's why I talk about it. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit. That's a side effect of that thing. First off, I do have diabetes. So it doesn't run in my family. I've probably just eaten myself into this state. I haven't had a partner that, like, hey, I'll bring home the money, you cook dinner. I haven't had that. And so I didn't eat great. And it's the reality I deal with. And if this helps me and I lose some weight, fucking better. You know what happens when you lose 50 pounds, when you lose 43 pounds, like I did in the matter of weeks? You start to be able to take your dog for a walk. Yeah. Like walking down a flight of stairs it's awful. I was never that fat. And so when I ballooned up out of nowhere, holy fuck, I got a firsthand reality check of what it's like for someone that really struggles with weight. It's a nightmare. Getting into a seat in a car is a nightmare. Walking to the mailbox at the end of your street is a fucking nightmare.
Yeah.
Wondering if you're going to fit into a booth at a fucking restaurant is a nightmare. I feel terrible for these people. And, some of them are gluttonous pigs and some of them, try a little, and having the willpower to do it is hard. It really is. And as you get older, it gets way fucking harder. It's why I look at kids today and it's like this 21-year-old who thinks she's hot as shit posing. And it's like, dude, you are 10 years away from everything going to shit. You know that, right? You're fat, skinny. You're skinny fat. You're 21. That's the only reason you look like that. Wait 10 years. You're fucked. It's like, this is going to get so much worse. So much worse. So they go on here. Sorry, getting off topic.
No, that's fine.
And yet these women all feel turning the jab was doing something wrong. This cannot continue. 1 in 4 adults in England, so she's England, where she wrote this article, are obese. America's the same way. Yeah. Might even be worse. Overweight patients cost the healthcare system about 7 billion pounds a year. Extra poundage is a thief of lives, joy, linked to a long list of chronic and life-threatening diseases, from diabetes and stroke and cancer to joint problems, poor function sexually, mental health issues, and on and on. I swear by all of that being true. It's all true.
I can see why.
Yeah. As a former nerd, and look, I watch my brother. My brother is rail thin, 6'3", fucking 190 pounds, always has been, athletic as shit, and eats anything he wants, anytime he wants. He sits down, he has a bowl of ice cream. It's not a bowl of ice cream he eats. It's a fucking gallon of ice cream he eats.
I'm the same way.
Doesn't care. It's how I was for the first 40 years of my life. Do you think I ever counted a calorie a day in my life? No, never, not once. But him, he looks the same he did in high school. He's fucking rail thin. You're going to be the same way. My nephew Marshall will be that way. I could see it already in his 9-year-old frame. He's going to be skinny and tall like his dad. It is what it is. As a former nurse, I understand the very concern of doctors that Ozempic, Wegovy, and Mounjaro are being used by individuals who aren't overweight, but just want to lose a few pounds for cosmetic reasons and see the jabs as a fast-track way to do it. And yes, unscrupulous online pharmacies and clinicians who are prescribing them to people who don't meet the clinical criteria should be clamped down on. But let's not lose sight of those people whose health these jabs have the power to transform. My advice to women thinking about using them: seek medical advice, do your research, blah, 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 and be honest about having the jabs if that's what you decide to do. That way you will be an inspiration and an encouragement to others. We need to call out jab shaming and nip it in the bud now, because many women's lives may depend on it, and so does our healthcare system. Excuse me, Jesus. I don't know that I'd go as far as that. Look, the shaming is going to come with it, but I think that it's a massive, massive problem nationwide, globally, as we have become a people that don't forage for food and only eat, what we collect, what we hunt and gather. Those days are over and shit is dropped off of your door. Now we're a gluttonous society. We expect everything and nobody's there to tell us to stop. And so it makes sense that we've become more lazy, more out of shape, more entitled. And it's like, I don't know. What were you going to say, Garrett? I know you had your hand up there.
No, I did for a second. I just thought of a whole tinfoil hat part of it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so they use the word jab shaming a lot in that article, and one of the things that kind of pinged in me is maybe they're trying to overflow the news with jab shaming related to Ozempic, so that when the election comes up, we can't really bring up jab shaming for when they yelled at a bunch of people for not getting vaccinated. And then
hold on, say that again. You said that too fast. Say that again. Say that again.
So they kept using the word jab shaming, which is what they kept calling the vax, and now I feel like they're trying to overflow the Google searches for shaming people who didn't get the jab. Because the election's about to come up, and that'll probably be a very hot topic is, hey, you guys were shaming us, and then when Biden got COVID, said it wasn't a big deal.
Yeah, that's interesting. Okay, tying jab shaming as in the jab for COVID.
Yeah, to them just trying to say it's just Ozempic. Jab shaming's all Ozempic related.
Yeah.
That's the tinfoil hat.
Okay, yeah, dude, I'm not afraid of a good tinfoil hat.
It's fun,
you know.
I'm not gonna do anything about it, but it's fun to think about.
Look, I'll be honest with you. The more that comes out, and the more congressional testimony goes on about the assassination attempt on Trump, the more you are forcing me into going down a conspiratorial lane.
Yeah,
like I don't know what we haven't talked about it, Garrett, but it is starting to get eerie. What's going on with that?
Full rabbit hole.
Yeah. I've been listening a lot to Dan Bongino. He, to me, is like, he's hitting home run after home run after home run. It's funny, every once in a while in time, people line up with a story that fits what their expertise is, and it all kind of aligns, and you end up going to that as the guy.
Yeah.
And Dan Bongino is perfect for this story. Absolutely perfect. His credentials are there 100. And hearing him and people knowing that they're safe to come out and talk to him behind the scenes about the reality of it, it's fucking scary. I encourage a lot of you out there. This is either really, the failure is either like the epitome of the possible negative side at its worst with DEI practices, or it's something more nefarious. It's one of the two, and sinister. And the guy on the stand today, Ron Ray, who is now leading the Secret Service, didn't do himself any favors today. He did better than Kim Cheadle, but that bar was set rather low by her.
Yeah.
But it'll be interesting to see where this goes. I can't remember why I brought that up.
I don't know. Just
conspiracy theories. Yeah. Conspiracy theories. But
which also shout out to our friend Dave Landau and his show Normal World. They actually interviewed a sniper who said that a lot of that was fishy.
Yeah.
The shots that the kid took and the shot that the guy who shot the kid took.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not a lot of it makes sense. And if you listen to Dan Bongino at all, I highly recommend it again. You will know more. You'll know first. You'll know before the mainstream media picks up on it. He's got a pretty good track record over the last couple of weeks of talking about stuff, and then it comes out in the New York Times in a week, or the New York Post, or any of the others. There's very few people doing actual reporting on it, which is sad.
No.
We're so in corners, it's just, it's too bad. It is.
Yeah. Shout out to No Agenda too. They're another show that's doing that same thing.
Yeah. It's good. We need some people doing it. It's not enough.
Yep.
Let's do a couple emails. Let's see here. Dionysus. I knew I'd hear from Ed Grabo.
Yeah. We pronounced that a little fucked up. Marina was giving me shit later because she's
why? What is it pronounced?
It's Dionysus or something. He's an actual Greek god of partying.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Didn't we say that? What is he? A Greek god of?
Well, no, we just said that it was the Dionysus festival or whatever, and that was all it was. But it actually was
okay.
The whole
so it's an actual
god. Yeah.
But the celebrations are celebrating a Greek god.
Yes.
The Greek god of
parties.
Throwing ragers.
Yeah,
nice.
Exactly.
I can get behind that. I have no problem with that.
The Greeks are pretty cool.
He sent me an email. Maybe you can see the picture there.
Okay.
Is that in focus?
Yeah, I'm seeing it here.
Shit, I hope I just didn't get out Ed's email.
I didn't see it. No, it was just picture.
Not as obvious here, but the center person is in purple. Yeah, that's not very obvious. It looks like kind of a purplish robe. Trying to compare that to the blue guy. Is that what he's trying to do there?
No, maybe also the one with the halo.
Huh?
Or maybe the one with the halo?
Yeah, is that what that is? A little bit of okay. Also the beams above the center character. Also the beam. I believe this is the painting of Dionysus joining the 11 Olympians for dinner at the pre-event feast. Okay. I see. Okay,
I can see that then.
I see that, but no. The Olympians one looked very much looked more similar to me, in my opinion, to the Da Vinci painting.
Yeah.
Pull up the images. This is similar. Ed's right. This is similar, and that's the talking point, or maybe the reality. I shouldn't say just talking point. This is what they were going after.
I literally just looked up Da Vinci's Last Supper, and the only pictures I'm getting are of the Olympics.
Yeah, there you go. So that picture there, yes, long table, a lot of people sitting at it, but that does not look like the what we saw from the Olympic event. To me, it looked more like the Da Vinci painting. But yeah, I mean, you look at those.
I mean, even the posing on these people where they're kind of leaning up and how they're leaning up.
Yeah. That's a much better sell to me, that picture of Da Vinci's and the people from the Olympics.
Yeah.
I can see it. And maybe they thought, yeah, that we can stuff this into that same vein and fool people. Maybe, I think they knew exactly what they were fucking doing, Ed. And so do you, if you're being honest. You knew they would have known 100% that was going to have the reaction it had. It doesn't bother me, but I understand why it would bother a lot of other people.
Also, to the Catholics, settle down a little bit. I mean, if you really are Catholic, you'll believe they're just going to hell anyways, and you don't really have to worry about it.
Yeah, there you go.
That's my big thing with when Catholics get outraged, and this is probably why they get picked on the most. Is their whole religion's forgiveness and just letting turn the other cheek. It's a whole thing.
Yeah.
If that's the case, that's probably why they get made fun of the most, because it's like they're not going to go bomb a hospital. They're just go, I'll pray for you, and then go do their own shit.
Well, it's why their argument about abortion doesn't hold water either. Much.
Exactly. It's like, because it's like they're going to go to hell anyways, then let them.
If you're right, then they're going to burn in eternal hell. But then, people point to, they're not allowed to eat shellfish either, according to the Bible. So, it's convenient how people interpret text that was telephone gamed out 400 years after the fact, minimum. Yeah. So, it's a principled thing, and religion has its symbols and it's that it cares deeply about, and that's what people are taking offense to. And there's no question in my mind, again, doesn't bother me at all. I couldn't give a shit less, but there's no doubt I could look at the fucking Olympics opening ceremony picture and Da Vinci's last meal and go, oh yeah, that's going to ruffle some feathers. That's going to piss some people off. Don't act like after the fact, like, what? We had no idea. I'm sorry that you're a pussy who was offended, Christians. Like, no, you would have known exactly what you were doing.
Exactly, yeah.
And it had the effect you wanted. Own it. Fucking own it. Tell people to get over it and move on. All right, let's kill it there. Walters at DetroitCast.com. We've gone over. Otherwise, I've got a few more emails, but we'll get to them.
Yeah.
Walters at DetroitCast.com. Oh, I did want to mention tomorrow, J. Chris Newberg will be on with us.
Awesome.
Yeah, we've been talking for a few days. He was going to come on yesterday, but then we decided to do it later in the week. He might come on a couple days this week. We'll see. But he'll join us tomorrow. We'll do our normal time, Garrett. Everybody have a wonderful rest of the day. And we will talk to you